If you're a content creator who's making videos, uploading them onto YouTube, and trying to grow a YouTube channel, there's probably something you figured out that YouTube doesn't actually talk about that much. YouTube is really hard. The fundamental reason it's so hard is because unlike any other job you've held, and yes, YouTube is a job, is the fact that there isn't a single skill that you need to learn. You have to learn many different skills. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that YouTube is the hardest job that you'll ever have to learn in your life. And I used to rip roofs off of houses and build stone walls for a living. Think about it. If you're a YouTuber, you actually have to learn how to film things and make it look good. You'll probably have to learn how to record your voice and other audio and make that sound good too. You'll also have to learn how to edit your video and your audio together so that it creates a finished video product. On top of that, you'll actually have to figure out how to set up all your equipment and lighting, design your own video thumbnails, design and build an actual channel on YouTube, including how to do your research for topics and then read your analytics afterwards to see how your videos performed. And then, on top of all of that, many of you are going to have to learn how to be really good in front of a camera. I could keep going. But in spite of all of those things, for years people would look at content creators as if what we were doing really wasn't all that much work at all. Or as if they were actually surprised to hear that people make money doing this. Or at least some of us do. The truth is that over 90% of YouTube content creators don't make enough money to reach the US poverty line. That's a scary proposition, because not that long ago, the toy manufacturer Lego actually surveyed 3,000 kids between the ages of 8 and 12, and of those kids surveyed, a third of them said that they wanted to be either a YouTuber or a video content creator when they grew up. That made it the #1 choice over even things like being an astronaut from the kids that they surveyed. The upside is that almost $29 billion in ad revenue was driven last year on YouTube. And YouTube actually shares 55% of the ad revenue with creators who are in the YouTube Partner Program. As a full-time content creator who actually does make a comfortable living doing this, let me share a few tips with you that can hopefully make your YouTube journey a little bit easier. The biggest tip I can give you is know your value proposition and stick to it. If you've been to high school, you know that in that school you have separate classes, and each one of those classes has a teacher that speaks to a very specific conversation week after week. If you're in a chemistry class, you're going to hear a lot about chemistry. If you were in a history class, you'd hear a lot about history. But if you were in a French class, you probably wouldn't hear a lot about health and fitness because that's a different subject. YouTube is very similar. Decide what conversation you want to have with your target audience and stick to that week after week. That way, YouTube can slowly learn the proper target audience for your content as viewers come back to watch newer videos as you publish them. Keep in mind, with over 122 million active viewers every day on YouTube, you're not trying to reach all of those viewers. You're only trying to reach the viewers who are interested in the conversation you're having on your channel. Another important tip harkens back to something we talked about earlier, learning to film and edit your videos, something that you get better at over time. Think about something that you're really good at. Maybe that's playing a musical instrument or painting, or maybe you're a really good gamer. You probably didn't get really good at that after doing it only 20 or 30 times. I'm guessing it probably took hundreds of instances of you doing that thing before you got as good at it as you are now. Making videos is no different. Try to improve one thing in your video content process every time you make a new video. Whether that's trying to get your lighting a little bit better, or your audio to sound a little bit better, or maybe try to edit your videos so that they come across a little more smoothly, or even trying to get a little more comfortable on camera every time you film. You actually do get better the more videos you make. And the better your video content is, the more it will connect with the target audience you're trying to reach. And when that viewer watches one of your videos and enjoys it, you'll have a catalog of other content that YouTube can recommend to that viewer when they're finished watching the video that they're on. Here's another tip that I rarely hear anyone talk about. Try to find your own voice. It's going to be nearly impossible to make a video that someone somewhere hasn't already made a similar video about. But that's true in real life. There probably aren't many conversations that you have with people that someone somewhere didn't have a similar conversation about with someone they knew. The trick is you want to bring your own unique perspective to that conversation and to your videos. Try to be the most authentically you as possible. Audiences tend to respond to people who are real, people who aren't trying to be someone else. Try to find your own strengths and leverage them, so that who you are and the way you create starts to speak for itself over time. Another important tip that I definitely don't want to forget is the fundamental point of contention that YouTube and content creators actually have. YouTube's goal is to get people watching videos and keep them watching videos. That's how the platform grows. As creators, our primary goal is also to get people watching and keep them watching. The difference is, if someone is watching one of your videos and enjoying it, and then goes on to watch someone else's video, YouTube is completely fine with that. The problem is that if viewers keep doing that, leaving your content and going on to watch something else, YouTube will start recommending something else every time someone watches one of your videos. We need to be selfish. We want viewers who are watching one of our videos to go on and watch another one of our videos. That's what'll actually help our channel get recommended more in the future. Learning how to recommend more of your content to a viewer who may be already watching one of your videos can be as simple as putting a video on screen at the end of the one they're watching and saying something like, hey, if you want to learn more about how to upload videos onto YouTube and grow an audience around that content, check out this video as well. I think you'll find it just as useful. Peace.